As I meditate, I realize it's been many years. I have spent countless of hours meditating, getting deeper and deeper and deeper into my own psyche. It's like arriving at a place and then remembering how you got there. It's like having a tough hike. You go through ups and downs, in and out, bounce around. You remember the milestones that you went through, the difficulties you went through, struggles you went through, but you persisted. And little by little, all these milestones kept on passing. One by one, the roadblocks were there, where nothing else appeared other than the roadblock itself. Seemed like a dead end. But perseverance, persistence was the only thing that helped. And the faith, the glimpse of the unknowable, glimpse of the Agye in its lightning moments where it came and disappeared, were the only thing you had hope available to hold on to. It's like getting stuck in a dark jungle, and all of a sudden a lightning strikes. Even for a fraction of a second, everything lights up and gives you the way, shows you the way, and then you go on. All of a sudden, the roadblock is not a block anymore. It just becomes a milestone that you passed. And you go beyond, and beyond, and beyond. And you reach to a steady state that all your concepts, all your ideas, all your beliefs gets bypassed. Nothing remains. Looking back, it seems that all these roadblocks were my own roadblocks, created by me. No one else was responsible for it except me. All my concepts were my concepts. The biggest hurdle that I had was to come out of the concept of the good and the bad. From the sansaric point of view, there was no argument about a lot of things which were good, and there was no question about a lot of things that were bad. But as long as I was holding on to good, I was also creating bad at the same time. Same situation in front of me. I could call it good or bad. My immaturity and the effect of the sansar made me label the moment as good or bad. Now, how it created problems in my mind started becoming obvious once I became more aware of my deeper inner states of awareness, where no thoughts remain, so no concepts remained, no ideas remained, no beliefs remained. Only one solid awareness remained, pure, divine, without any disturbances. It's like I am huge desert made out of sand, and the sansar was writing, drawing all these figures on me. And I got involved in these figures. If I called a moment good, that persisted in my mind. And since the mind was nothing but a storehouse of all these moments of life which are happening in front of me, with all my concepts of goodness and badness, I became obsessed with holding on to these moments. That's what happens to us. We call an event good or bad. Good events, we like them to be repeated in our life, and bad events, we don't want to be repeated. When a new moment comes, we bring out the old memories from our psyche, from our mind, and judge the present moment with that. In doing that, the present moment loses its glory, because no matter how good it may be, but I'm comparing this moment with the past moment that I had was, according to me, much better. Then I'm deviating to the past. Same thing, because my mind had a tendency to call an event good or bad. When an event came and I labeled as bad, I kept on waiting for the life to bring on a moment which will be better, which will be good. And I again lost the present moment in its glory. And my mind kept on jumping into the future, looking for that one perfect moment of my life. Now, reflecting back on this beautiful spiritual journey, I realize that it was just a play of the mind. Mind only creates illusions. It was my decision to call a moment good or bad. Moment was a moment. only my labeling of good or bad was responsible for creating vast, complex jungle of the mind through which I came out. And outside this jungle of figures, designs, forms, shapes, beyond that, there is one solid consciousness where all thoughts, all concepts end. And I realize that everything that happened in my life, I believed it. The concepts stored at my mind level helped me to connect with the world. But that was not the reality. Just like a drawing, beautiful patterns created on the desert, they disappear when the wind of the time comes. All these patterns disappear, and the new patterns come. They disappear, and the new one comes, and it goes on and on. The whole sansar, from the time I was born till today, the world events, life events, everything has been writing, drawing on me. The desert, the peace of desert, of consciousness. Consciousness is neutral. All the figures drawn on the sand of my consciousness are being drawn by the sansar, or rather, I am drawing my own figurines through the imaginations of my mind. The mind had developed a wrong habit of holding on to the objects, people, situations. That was responsible for drawing these figures, not the sansar, the physical sansar. There is nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. Life is unfolding in its beautiful manifestations every single day. And it unfolds in front of us, one moment at a time. Every single moment that comes is full of consciousness. That is the consciousness. That's the totality. That's the total universal existence that's in front of us, very much alive, full of energy, vitality, change happening everywhere, trees growing, teenagers growing, full of vitality, children playing, animals roaming around, birds chirping, sun shining, rivers flowing. This is the universal consciousness at its best. It is here, right now. But the figurines I created within my mind were my own impressions of not knowing who I was. Since I didn't know who I was, I kept on holding on to the wrong things. Now I realize that my mind was nothing but a bundle of thoughts connecting me to the various things. My thought was what made me believe that I was Shrenik, because that concept came from outside, but I accepted it. I put it in a memory, in deep-seated memory, where I can utilize it whenever it's necessary. Here I am, with full consciousness, where I am Shrenik is a concept that is not necessary at all. Only when I go out in the world, I need to bring that concept out, which is stored in the mind, and I utilize it throughout the day. I walk around believing that I am the Shrenik. But at some point, my parents and the people around me kept on shouting, name Shrenik, Shrenik, Shrenik. I started believing it. But now I realize it was my mind, deep-seated tendency to hold on to things, created a concept within me that I am Shrenik. And since I was Shrenik, I continued to hold on to it. I defended it. I fought for it. I got hurt for it. I became better. I became worse than someone else. Along with that concept came ownerships of Shrenik, relatives of Shrenik, spouse, children, money, car, houses, travels, likes, dislikes. Now I realize I had created this big, complex figurines drawn on my own sand of the consciousness. Was it necessary? I'm sure it was. Everybody goes through this. Everybody does the same mistake. If we were not gonna make a mistake, we will never learn from it. It's a natural evolutionary process that we all go through to realize that there is a life beyond all these concepts and beyond all these complex figurines which are happening in our mind, the images which are being created, destroyed, and created again, and we keep on storing them, and we keep on believing them as the reality, is the Maya, to believe in something which is not there. And that continues to persist in our mind. Is the evolution we all go through. All these things were necessary. All the life experiences were necessary. All those roadblocks and the thunders and lightnings to show me the way where necessary. The only thing that helped me was the persistence and perseverance not to give up. And when I reached at the other end, in a state of highest consciousness, highest awareness, I realized that all this journey was beautiful, absolutely necessary, but it was all my own creation, my own ignorance. But ignorance is not known until the knowledge arises. And now the knowledge has arisen. Ignorance seems a distant memory again. There is no memory, there is only awareness. But the past events do go through. And now, every moment that comes in front of me, my inner awareness interacts with the awareness of everyone around me, the birds, the sky, the trees, the leaves, people. My inner awareness resonates with the awareness outside. Mind takes a backseat. There is no goodness, there is no badness. Goodness and badness were only the colors that were given to me to draw a painting, but these colors were the mistakes. All the colors ended in the pristine glory, the colorless consciousness, only one color of the consciousness. This is all internal. It cannot explain anymore. But the rainbow created from a single white light source is an example that can come close to this experience. All my concepts, all my ideas, beliefs, firm convictions, including the goodness, the badness, including that I am the Shrenik. All these were various color pencils I used in my own mind to create figures, drawings, various running arounds. And now all those colors have merged into one solid block of consciousness, which is showering its grace. Where it is coming from, I don't know. But the knowledge is shining perpetually. It has been shining forever. In this shining of the present moment, my concepts have all dissolved, including the concepts of time, concepts of the past, concepts of the future, has all dissolved. And only the present moment in its glory is remaining in totality, where all my life, all lives, all the memories have dissolved into this vast ocean of consciousness, making me realize the rainbow of life was my own drawing, but the reality that is shining is where I have disappeared, because I was part of that drawing, which is no more. Only the pure consciousness remains, in which I bathe. Go deeper. Do not give up. Persistent and persevere. Meditation will take you there. I'm beckoning you to join me in this beautiful, divine experience through meditation. Have a good day.